There it is. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Real Estate, hosted by yours truly. My name's Ray. I'm a bearded man of real estate. Thanks, everybody, for coming by today. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. This is episode 330. I can't believe I'm still around. So thanks everybody for joining. We're broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Kick, Twitch, Clubhouse, and Instagram. Yay! So thanks everybody for joining. If you comment on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, I can display your comment that could talk about you, just like Matt LaMarche did. He said, haha, early. What's up, man? Been missing you, dude. You can also do that on Twitch and Kick as well. You can comment there and I can display it. If you want to add your voice to the podcast, just find us on Clubhouse. We're in the Real Estate Networking Club. You can join that club and look for the event that is every Wednesday at the same time. And you could go there, and if you have a real bio, real profile, the moderators will add you to the discussion, and then you can add your opinion and your voice to the podcast. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. And today, for the show, we have a lot of economic news. So the show is actually mostly economic news today. There's just a little bit of tea in one of the companies that we all love to hate to love. I don't know, one of and I'm interested to get your opinion on this. So without further ado, we're just going to go right to it. Opendoor. Opendoor announced Cash Plus, then its CEO stepped down. That's never like a good feeling if you launch a product and then right when you launch the product, the CEO steps down. But if you recall, 3 weeks ago, or maybe it was 4 weeks ago, we covered Opendoor's stock price shooting up. And we talked about how this was kind of unique for them because it didn't seem to be much new happening. But there was a guy on Twitter that is a big investment guy that was like, I think these guys are going to be worth, 80 something bucks. And it was like a $2 stock. So the stock price shot up. The CEO on the earnings call last week thanked everyone for their support and interest in the company. It was just kind of an odd thing. Then, I guess that was 2 weeks ago. Then last week, the guy that had caused the run up on the stock actually announced publicly that he would like for the CEO to step down. It's kind of a weird power play, like a social media power play, essentially saying like, hey, if you don't do this, I'm going to remove my position in your company. Let's see, Kasich Hung. I'm probably not saying your name right. Cassi. Cassie. Oh, that's Cassie. Cheheang. If you want to find him on Instagram. You had me at meltdown. What's up, Jack? Jack said in a meeting and be on soon, but love the headline meltdown. Yeah, we are talking about the summer meltdown today. And if you missed the thumbnail, I love the thumbnail today because it's a popsicle on a counter melting, which my OCD is just going crazy. But the real estate market, we're going to be talking about that melting down. But first, I want to go through Opendoor. Are they melting down, or is this a big win for them? So the CEO, Carrie Wheeler, stepped down from her role August 15th, less than a month after the company unveiled its new program, Cash Plus. Let's see, her departure follows weeks of stock volatility, with Opendoor shares spiking on meme stock forums in July before plunging nearly 50% in after hours. The company has seen continued swings, drawing national attention from both investors and industry watchers. So Cash Plus was a hybrid program that gives sellers access to a portion of their equity up front while Opendoor prepares and lists the property for sale in the open market. So essentially giving people access to their equity. It's like a HELOC, but it's Opendoor's valuation of the property while they're getting the property ready for the market. It mirrors Zudilio's Cash Plus, which launched in 2019. So Zudilio had already filed a Cash Plus trademark earlier this year and reached out to then Opendoor CEO Carrie Wheeler when they learned about the announcement. In an email response, Wheeler stated that Opendoor would continue with their new offering as planned. We are not aware of any instances of actual confusion between our respective offerings. We respectfully do not believe that anyone has the exclusive rights on the phrase Cash Plus. We'll be continuing with our Cash Plus product name. That's interesting. So the Cash Plus thing, if you have Cash Plus is obviously too vague to trademark alone. Cash Plus is probably already out there being used in all different kinds of avenues. The difference is similar company, similar product. That's when it gets a little iffy. So both of these companies essentially do very similar things. And now they have a similar product name, and Zudilio had filed for the trademark. So we'll see who wins that. In Zudilio's Cash Plus model, sellers receive 75 to 85% of their equity up front while Zudilio purchases the property. Company handles repairs and upgrades. The seller agent lists the home on the open market. If the home sells above purchase price, the seller captures the upside. If it sells for less, adjustments are made from the equity side. Okay. I mean, that's about it. They're just talking about it. There's another article on Broke Agent Media also about the Opendoor CEO stepping down in the stock roller coaster. This just kind of hits that stock saga. July 21st, shares hit $3.31, 429% jump in 1 week, thanks to hype from meme stock forums like Reddit. July 23rd, the stock plunged 50% to 205 in just hours. August 14th, another surge of 25%, pushed it to $3.03, hovering around $3.29 in open market on Friday. Year-to-date open shares are up roughly 100%, fueled in part by retail investors and EMJ's capital long positions. EMJ was the guy that said he wanted the CEO to step down. So there you go. Okay. That's pretty much it for the industry tea this week, which I know you guys don't believe me, but it was such a slow week. Let me show you the front page of Inman. It's pretty rare that we don't have some kind of lawsuit these days. I'm just kind of used to the lawsuit thing. But check this. This is the front page of Inman. You have how one newbie real estate agent gets 75% of her clients insulting people on Instagram as the top story. And I mean, no offense to Caitlin. She's great. I don't know if you know Caitlin, but her videos are hilarious. But it's not exactly industry news. So that was the top story on Inman today. And whenever, it's a slow week whenever they're like, here's the data you need to grow your real estate business. That's like the above the fold. Summer sales hit their slowest pace. We are talking about that today. I feel like that should be front and center. But that was 2 days ago news. So this is just today news. Okay. Next up. Oh, any comments on Opendoor? Andy, didn't you say you were working with Opendoor?
No.
No, okay. Can't remember. I have a terrible memory when it comes to that kind of stuff. Remembering what markets you guys are in and remembering what, yeah, that's why I have a spreadsheet with all that stuff. Except Justin kind of cowl over on Instagram. I love me some Ray. I love you too, dude. Oh, you're over in Clubhouse now too. Thanks for the multi-stream. Love me some multi-stream. All right, let's go to the economy. Typical homebuyer's monthly payment down more than $200 from May peak, with September's anticipated interest rate cut already priced into mortgages. This is a really significant statement if true, because a lot of us have people saying, I'm going to wait for the rate cut. And once the rate cut happens, then I'll buy when rates go down. Living in Columbia, South Carolina says they're really pulling for news. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do that because the Fed rate and the mortgage rate are tertiary, like connected, but not directly connected.
That's what,
yeah.
Yes.
And it's already baked in. For the mortgage rate, a lot of stuff is already baked in because they have expectations and it's baked in as expectations.
Right. So for all of you out there that have clients that are saying this, I would green screen this article and say, if you're waiting for rates to drop because of a Fed cut, there may not be much movement in the future, and here's why. So you might as well buy now, because the news of a rate cut is going to accelerate buyers into the market. And so if you can already take advantage of the low rates that have been priced into the market with anticipation of a rate cut, which we know it is tertiary, as Andy suggests, but you can already take advantage of that right now and beat the rush of buyers and take advantage of the higher inventory. So now you can get great terms, you can get lower prices, and you get the same rate that you would after the up and coming rate drop.
And you could refi later when the rates do go down further.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Andy. What's the phrase? Date the rate? No, I'm kidding.
No, do not say that.
Is that what that means? If you're like, and you can refi later, isn't that the thing?
No, because you don't date outside of your marriage, right? That, to me, that's like, hey,
that's funny.
No, that's not how it works. You just renegotiate terms later on once you've been married for a while, right? You kind of get used to each other.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to get in anything over your head. So no one is suggesting that, but you can take advantage of low rates right now, pretty much. Bart Tracy, Van Alst, Texas real estate consultant, says, and cost to refi? What is it? Are they still doing the thing, Andy, where if you buy a house, I know they were doing this for a couple of years, but they said if you buy a house, if you refi within a year or two, it's they're essentially going to do it for super low cost or free. Are they still doing it? Is that still a program people are offering right now, Andy?
Yeah, some lenders are doing that. Some lenders are doing, buy downs still. I wouldn't do long-term buy downs. I wouldn't do buy down more than a year right now, honestly, because within a year, we could see rates even lower. That's the expectation. So I would wait. And yeah, you can shop for your refi. Some will, they won't throw a lot of extra charges. I know with my group, if you're going to come back to us to do a refi, yeah, we're going to be able to help you a lot more because we've already made our money there per se.
Yeah.
So we're not going to overcharge you for the refi. But there are lenders out there that will absolutely eat you up in fees and everything. So. Yeah. And that's a big thing with the VA. Obviously, I specialize in, but there's a recoupment rate with VA. So if you're overcharged to get that lower rate or pay for a much lower rate, there's a good chance you won't be able to do a refi for a while.
Okay. Well, that's good info. And Bart, I'm not sure how to say your last name. Bart Tracy Van Alstyne. Alstein? Sorry if I messed it up the first time. I try, but sometimes, I read so fast. So the median monthly mortgage fell to a 7-month low of $2,631 during the 4 weeks ending August 10th. That's down more than $200 from its May peak. Monthly payments are becoming more affordable because mortgage rates are at a 10-month low, falling to 6.53%. It's the lowest mark since October 2024, which means the buyer on a $3,000 monthly budget gained roughly $20,000 in purchasing power. I mean, I would, this article is on Redfin News, which is a little bit of a redesign. Have you noticed the redesign on the Redfin News? Is that a Rocket R? Is that a Rocket? Yeah, that is a Rocket Mortgage R. Look at that. Interesting. Yeah, so there's your Rocket Mortgage R right there. And now it's at the top of Redfin News. What? There's the first change they've made. We spotted it, guys. For those of you who don't know, Redfin and Rocket have essentially merged. So, okay, let's go to builder news. NAHB, builder confidence plateaus at relatively low level. Builders aren't feeling great right now. Elevated mortgage rates, weaker buyer traffic, ongoing supply side changes continued to act as a drag on builder confidence in August as sentiment levels remain in a holding pattern at a low level. Builder confidence in the market for newly built single-family homes was 32 in August. That's down a point from July, according to the National Association of Home Builders. Builder sentiment has been negative for 16 consecutive months and has hovered at a relatively low reading between 32 and 34 since May. NAHB Chairman Buddy Hughes says affordability continues to be the top challenge for the housing market as buyers are waiting for the mortgage rates to drop to move forward. Builders are also grappling with supply side headwinds, including ongoing frustrations with regulatory policies connected to developing land and building homes. I was actually visiting with a builder this week. I'm not going to name names. Good dude. Talking about the development and the cost of developing in the city and how much that has increased over the past 5 and 6 years. So there is some real deal increases in just preparing lots for sale that are really cutting into what builders can do. So Allstein, Stein, S-T-E-I-N. Is it German? If it's German and it's Stein, and if it's not, it's Steen. Thanks, Bart Tracy Van Alstein. Teresa Benny says, "Oh snap, what's up?" All right, so builders aren't super confident right now. Single family home starts edge higher, but affordability changes persist. This is also from the National Association of Home Builders. Led by solid multifamily production, overall housing starts increased 5.2% in July to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.43 million units, according to a report from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The July reading of 1.3 million starts is the number of housing units builders would begin if development kept its pace over the next 12 months. Single-family production continues to operate at reduced levels due to ongoing affordability challenges, including persistently high mortgage rates. I mean, everybody is after lower the rates, which we know it's tertiary, but still, everyone's after the Fed to lower the rates. What's up, Scap? Olivier, I see you guys. I'll make y'all some moderators. All right, so what's going on with new construction in your market? I want you to drop it in the comments, especially if you're watching the replay. Brian Hershey is over on Instagram. He said, "I'm here. Let's go. Can you start over? I missed something." No, I can't. But actually, you know what? I'm kidding. I'm not going to start over. But drop in the comments what's happening with new construction in your market. Say who you are, what market you're in, and what's going on. If you're on Clubhouse, you can unmute. I'd love to hear what's happening in the new construction development. Just kind of take a mini market moment to hear what's happening around the country. Brian Hershey says, "Boo." He really does want me to restart, guys. I'm not going to do it. And no one's up for the Clubhouse spotlight on your market. Come on, Courtney. Oh man, my Clubhouse.
Okay.
My visualization
All right,
of our
I'm in
Clubhouse
my.
room just dropped. All right, come on. What's going on with new construction in your market, Courtney?
They are buying up land left and right. I have a developer client that 50% of my business is land, and they don't start buying anything until like November, December. Since I would say May, almost all of my inventory is gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I had over the past 4 years, I've had over 300 lots that I think we dwindled down to about 175 starting this year. And yeah, we had builders that just scooped them all up by, I want to say it's between April, May, and June, because I'm cleared out.
So, but they're buying land. What's the status of development? Are they at least getting sticks in the ground to have more coming online, or are they that far out? Are you like 8 months out from new inventory?
So we have a lot of the big box builders are doing all kinds of crazy incentives for agents and buyers because they're trying to clear the inventory so that way they can start building the other stuff. But Lexington County has just changed to where they're only doing, 4 houses per acre now. So that way it's slowing down the density. because that has been the constant thing with our area because we are way overpopulated.
Interesting. So overpopulated, needing inventory. They changed the rules to is that decreasing the density?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 houses per acre or 1 house per 4 acres?
No, 4 houses per acre.
Oh, so we're the opposite here.
So everybody's
Yeah,
we're
we
the opposite.
Yeah, we were, I think, between 8 and 10. I cannot remember the last time that they were allowing before, but they dropped it down to 4 now.
Interesting. All right, Terry, you just chimed in a little bit. What's happening with new construction in your market?
Um,
And where are
we're
you?
seeing
Tell
a
me
lot.
what market you're in.
I'm in eastern Pennsylvania, outside of Philly.
Okay.
North and east, or north and west of Philly. We're actually, interestingly, seeing a lot of, I'll call them strip malls being built, which usually, and a lot of restaurants and stuff coming in, which usually doesn't happen unless they know that there's some kind of growth on the book.
Okay.
So I feel like, and I'm very rural where I am, so I feel like there's something coming that no one's talking about. And all these restaurants and other things want to be in place when that happens, which is just interesting to me because, it's like they're getting these in place, and, if for some reason the developments get squashed, now we've got this overabundance of restaurants and stores that we don't need. We don't have enough people to fill them.
Yeah, that's interesting. There definitely has to be more balance there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next couple of years.
Okay. So do you think are the developers local or are they big national builders?
We have both.
Okay.
We have both. But, the other thing is, out here, everybody, they complain because we don't have hospitals out here. We don't have, big stores out here and things like that. But then they don't want any building to happen to sustain them. It's just the stupidest thing. So, again, they want us to stay rural. We've got lots of farms in the area that just signed programs to not allow building for 100 years or 99 years is usually what it is. So I think we just had 10 of them in our area that just signed those. So, that's going to be interesting too. So I'm guessing there's some kind of incentive happening right now because they all did it within like a month. So there must be some kind of incentive.
Zones?
Well, they're all. It's almost, Pennsylvania just has a lot of food growth for the country.
Okay.
And I feel like the government incentivized them to do something to not allow any subdivisions and housing.
Interesting.
They're going to stay. So, but I can't see all of them doing it without an incentive of some kind.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any, if they build it, they will come? Like if you build the shopping centers and restaurants that people will come out to, the hospitals and all that stuff.
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the things that Elverston has here is someone signed, whoever did the very first subdividing for the deeds for the town and stuff. We're not allowed to sell alcohol or have restaurants that sell alcohol here. So we have restaurants that are BYOB, but and then you go, a second over the line and they have it. So,
it's like
I know.
So I used to live in a dry county, and once you cross the county line, it was like the mecca of alcohol. It was everywhere, and these huge stores where you could buy in bulk, and it's pretty funny.
Well, yeah, and but they want places like Applebee's and things like that to come in out here, which won't do it without alcohol.
They got to have their alcohol.
That's their profit margin. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, but they're trying to vote it out, which I don't think they can vote out a deed. So I don't know how that's going to work either.
Andy, what about you? What's happening in your market with new construction? Are you seeing more single family starts? Is it slower? Is it faster? What's going on?
I am here really like super local to me. I mean, just down the street from me,
Tell everyone where you are,
maybe a
by the
half
way.
a mile. I'm northwest of Atlanta, so just down the street from me, maybe a half mile across the street from an elementary school. A new developer has come in. They bought the land last month. They've already cleared it, and they're
Wow.
starting to develop everything. And it looks like it's about the size of my neighborhood, so probably 150 to 200 homes, depending on the size of the lot.
Okay.
And if they have any amenities, and if they have to have detention ponds and all that fun stuff. But just, I asked the question to Terry about, if they build it, they will come. We're kind of getting some of that here in my area, northwest of Atlanta, where a lot of people pushed outside of the city. But I mean, there's a good chance we could get a Chick-fil-A right at the top of my neighborhood, which,
Oh man.
hey, everybody loves Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
but man, the
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to be, you're just going to walk up there. You're just going to have to walk to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, literally. No, there's Zaxby's, a Chick-fil-A, and there's a local breakfast place called Martin's that has like really good breakfast biscuits and all that stuff. They've already started the shell for the Chipotle and all of that stuff. So we're already pretty congested anyways, but they're widening the highway. It's a state highway, and they're already widening it. It's a major like traffic snafu right now. It'll probably be for another next year, but they're building it. Yeah, it's 10 years overdue, to be honest with you, because my county likes to allow. We're a bedroom community. Our whole county, everybody goes somewhere else to work since we're so close to Atlanta. But we just got a new economic developer for the county who is just coming from the city next door and the county next door. So hopefully good things to come. But if you build it, they will come. We got a brand new hospital, all of that stuff. So there's a good chance that we could explode even more.
So are you in an opportunity zone?
No, I am. My county is not, as far as I'm aware of.
Is it an area that would qualify for rural development?
We're borderline with USDA stuff, so there's a good chance we could do that further out.
But not at this new development that they're building.
No. No.
Interesting. So we have a lot of new construction in our area in places where people could qualify for rural development. We have a new national builder that's come in. We finally have Dr. Horton, Dr. Horton, for those of you that. So they're
they're the ones. That's the biggest competition for me on the mortgage side, is because they purchased millions and millions of dollars of mortgage funds at a super low rate back when the rates were super low.
Yep.
And they're still giving out tons of incentives to agents, to buyers, and everything. It's insane. It's hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're only going to see more of that. And I think there are builders that try, especially right now with the rule change. Actually, just had this happen this week too. Builder tried to kind of take the opposite tactic with the commission rule and failed miserably. Where instead of offering more, because a lot of these builders are like, hey, I'm going to give you 4% or 3% or something crazy, or some kind of bonus for coming and selling one of these properties because of the supply issue. The local builder was like, hey, I can do this deal at this lower price, but all basically we have to cut the agents out. And it was like, it didn't work. Amazingly, that deal didn't come together. So I think you're going to see a lot of builders trying to make some of these lower price offers work, but it's going to be a real struggle for them, to be honest, because what people are looking at, the value, there was a buyer in particular that was like, well, I'm worried that, the housing market is going to stall because of rates and inventory and all this other stuff. And, he wasn't exactly right, but in his mind, he is right. And his perception is the reality. And a lot of buyers have that perception because they're watching TV and they're watching the headlines and they're watching the news about the housing market meltdown. And, it was a significant discussion that we had with several clients where they said, am I buying at the wrong time? Am I buying a house where prices are at the highest and then prices are going to go low? And no one wants to do that. So, one of our questions was, well, how long are you going to live in the home? If they're going to live in the home 5 to 10 years, I mean, it's likely if the price does lower some, it's going to be back up by the time they sell. But if they're only going to live there 2 to 3 years, that is a consideration that people need to start making now, is that if they had to sell, they may not break even because of fees and all that other kind of stuff. D Ludwood rocks. What's up, buddy? He's on Instagram. He says, meltdown. Ah, he knows the drill. All right. So back on the single family production continues to operate at reduced levels due to housing affordability challenges. I think that's what we're going to see over and over and over. And it impacts the builder confidence directly. Because of the impact on the builder confidence, you're going to continue to see the limping in of most regular builders. I think national builders are going to take advantage of it and start taking market share, though. So Bart Tracy says, DR Horton will make a buyer's life very difficult. Should not use their lender. Just heads up. Okay. I can't take an opinion on that or not. I don't have one. I've never used their lender. Matt LaMarche, Hot Atlanta Real Estate, says, why isn't anyone commenting? We've had some comments, but maybe you couldn't see them because you just joined, Matt. D Ludwig Rock says, once the silver wave hits, we'll be fine. It's just taking forever. Yeah, back when Dan was on the show, it was the silver wave that was predicted every single year by every economist. And we're still waiting on that silver wave. Actually, I did see a news article today, Dan, that I did not include in the rundown, but it talked about how senior living facilities could not keep up with demand. And that may be a different version of the silver wave.
That's 100% true, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Main house value says we've been waiting on Matt's comments. So there you go. Thanks for joining, Matt. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule to let us know. Let us non-Porsche drivers know that you're here.
Golfing. You mean golf?
Probably. This is a new job. The other article about news was from single family home construction rises and with a boost from the South. So this article was on realtor.com. The single family housing starts rose 2.8% last month from June to seasonally adjusted rate of 939. The July figure was up 7.8%. The gain was fueled entirely by the South, where single family starts rose 13% on the month, 22% annually. Single family starts fell month to month basis in the Midwest, Northeast, and West. D. Ludwig Rock says, I know what I'm talking about way more than Matt. It's true. You should just pop on the show if you have all this time, Dan. I mean, you could cam up or something. All right, so take a look at this chart. I like the chart. It looks like watermelon. Happy summer, everyone. The South, from Texas to Virginia. What is that state right beside Virginia? Is that Pennsylvania? No, it's south of Pennsylvania. What is that area?
Delaware? Oh, you said south of Virginia?
No, it's south of Pennsylvania. Isn't that Pennsylvania? The rectangle is Pennsylvania.
Maryland and Virginia.
Maryland, Virginia,
Delaware.
West Virginia.
Yeah, it's over there.
West Virginia and Delaware.
It's on the east. I forget my shapes of states. Anyway, from Texas all the way over to the East Coast there below Pennsylvania, it's up 13.2%. But as soon as you go north of that, it's pink, which is at 8.3% in the Maine area, Pennsylvania to Maine. If you go to Missouri north, this whole block with all the rectangular states kind of split down the middle there. North Dakota, South Dakota. I think that's what they are. That's negative 15%. And that is a fuchsia, hot pink color. And then another light pink on the West Coast from Colorado, Arizona. Is that Nebraska up there? Montana? Something like that. I mean, it's a bunch of squares. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's terrible. I need to go look at my state shapes again. It's been a while. Anyway, it's -7. -7.1. Very pink. Carolyn Hobbs, Silicon Valley says, boomer population. Yeah. That's the silver wave. Matt says he's got meetings at 1. Got to rearrange my life. Yeah, dude, for real. You knew. I mean, this has been on your calendar for what, 6 years? Let's get with it. All right. So the South single-handedly holding up home values or housing starts. I mean, I wonder if, it seems like that's a significant difference. That's almost a 30-point difference between us and right above us in the North. I wonder if it's an influx from so many people in other states coming into the South, or I mean, what is that? Is it lower cost? Why is that disparity there? Let's see if the article tells us.
Lower cost, taxes, property taxes.
Yeah, it could be taxes too. Yeah. That's the same. They're using the same quote that we just read from NAHB on it. And they do not have the reason why these regional differences exist in the article. So here's what it is, and you guys are left to kind of figure it out. But very interesting. Jessica Coates says, time to brush up on your geography. I know, right? I need to. Olivier, you're no help. You're Canadian. You don't know any of these shapes. It's been a while. I mean, some of them, I know most of them, but when you just have a rectangle, and what is this rectangle next to this rectangle? That's when I'm like, I know in general what's up there, but I've never been up there. I am shocked how many people don't know what Arkansas is, because I feel like it's a pretty distinguishable shape. But there's so many people that tell I'm from Arkansas, and they're like, where's that again? That blows my mind. But I guess everyone living in their own state feels the same way. All right. These 6 maps capture the real estate market in turmoil. Oh, great. More maps. No, I'm kidding. Olivier says Arkansas is where fun goes to die, right? No, man, we're the natural state. This is where, if you want to have fun, that's where you come. Deregulation and nature. So U.S. is on track to see about 4 million homes sold for the second straight year. If that wasn't enough, Redfin released a handful of new data on Monday showing that homes sitting for sale on the market for longer than any point in the past decade. This is a great stat. If you have a property from a seller that's like, why isn't my house selling? I mean, it's probably price condition or the professional presentation of their property to the marketplace. But if you've handled the presentation of the marketplace and they're in really good condition, the only thing they can adjust is price. But this is an interesting stat to give them. Homes are sitting on the market for sale on the market for longer than any other point in the past decade.
I don't think that's in every state, though, right?
Oh, no, it's definitely localized, but that's true for us.
The Northeast is still, I mean, though we're seeing price reductions, we're still seeing multiple offers. We're still seeing things close over asking.
Let's take a look at the interactive map. Here are the median days on market. Typical home spent 43 days on market in March. I'm sorry. The typical home spent 43 days on market in July 2025, according to Redfin. Here's which markets were for more or less than the median. So blue means more. Blue is up to 86 days on market. Red is 17. So let's zoom in to some of these markets. You're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
Are you close to Pittsburgh?
Oh, no. Other side of the state.
Other side.
Philly.
All right. So Philadelphia area? You're
north and west of it.
West. Okay.
Just west of it.
Let's see. It doesn't have that highlight. The closest highlight it has is Philadelphia, Camden, Wilmington,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
PA, NJ, DE, MD. It's a 41 day on market median. So it is one of it's like a peachy color. It's kind of leaning towards red. And I think you're right. I mean, what you're going to see is definitely localized differentiation. Indianapolis is at 17, St. Louis is at 20, Kansas at 18, Boston at 20, Province at 26. So, I mean, you're definitely seeing some hot markets that stuff's moving quickly, but look at all the gray around the country. All this gray is stuff that hits around the median. Now in Miami, it's 86 days on market. Jacksonville, Florida is at 75 days on market. Hey, because I have so many hot Atlanta folks on the call, Atlanta's at 50 days on market median. But that's a lot. I mean, that's a big difference from 2 days on market 2-3 years ago. That's a huge difference. And here's Houston's at 49 median, but Austin is at 68. San Antonio is at 66. Dallas is at 52. So very useful map to see kind of where the hot markets are as far as days on market goes. Now, the days on market could be for a couple of reasons. One could be for the lack of inventory. So maybe some of these markets don't have enough homes for sale. And so it has a lower inventory. And maybe some of the others, they've exploded with new builds. And because of that, there's more inventory and homes are sitting longer. But it does give you a pretty good picture of what's happening in each of these markets. Like Phoenix is at a 67 days on market median. Way different. That's way, way different than 2 hours on market 3 years ago. Change in days on market. So this is the delta. What's had the biggest change in days on market? The dark blue are the largest changes, and the red are the negative changes. So Kansas City had a -6. That's the biggest negative on the map. Dallas, let's see, what's the biggest blue? San Diego had a change of 16. Miami had a change of 18. Atlanta had a change of 15. So those are the deepest blues. Oh, Las Vegas, 17. Everything else is just kind of in the middle of all that. The median sell price change. So red is negative, where median sell prices have gone down. Blue is positive, where median sell prices have gone up. The only deep blue is Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Elyria area of Ohio. 12.8. What is that, a percent? Sell price change? I assume it's a percent. The article does not say. It says 12.8 is the change. I'm assuming it's 12.8%. Let's see, the brightest red, Jacksonville, Florida had -3.9. Houston, -2.9. Austin, -3.3. Those are the three markets with the largest negative change in sell price. And what's interesting about that is in Houston, it was one with kind of a orangish peach color on the median days on market. Austin, right beside it, had a larger change and it was still blue. So that tells me that Austin still has room to go as far as price changes. I think you'll see more price changes go lower in Austin. And if you're looking at Houston, they had price changes. They're -2.9% below, but they're starting to decrease in the median days on market. Jenna Price, sorry, I had a cord in the way. Jenna Price, realtor, says average 94 days on market in Austin. Do you think there's still room for prices to improve in Austin, Jenna? I think so. Just based on my read of this data. So St. Louis was kind of light blue, had an increase of 6.9%. Kansas had an increase of 6.4%. But if you go back up here to the change in days on market, it's at -6. So it had a decrease in the median days on market. Interesting. Huh. So it makes sense that the price would go up, I guess. If you're in these major markets, this is very interesting charts. And if you're talking to someone that's thinking about moving to Houston or Austin or Dallas, this would be really helpful data for you. For me, I'm gray here in the middle. I'll have to click the get data button and look at this myself because my state is not interactive. It's just in the middle. New listings. Houston had the largest new listing, 26.9 was the new listing score. Again, percent change in new listings. It increased 26.9. Jacksonville decreased 15.6. San Francisco decreased 19, and Portland, Vancouver decreased 13. And then pending sales. They suddenly changed to gold and green. Why did y'all do that? Pending sales, the gold is negative percent changes. So Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, Tampa, Orlando, and Miami all were the biggest negatives. Oh, San Antonio too. And the biggest positives in pendings are Phoenix, Houston, Austin. Austin's up there with a 6.8 change in pending. Jenna. Okay. And the median sell price, the deepest purple are the most expensive, and that's in San Francisco and San Jose. So they're all at 1.6, 1.5 million. The brightest yellow are the cheapest. Well, I should also mention honorable mentions to San Diego at 916,000 and Seattle at 850. In New York at 807. I think that's low for New York. Boston's at 775. All right, so the cheapest places to live, bright yellow. Houston, 340. San Antonio, 329. Let's see. Up 315 is over in Cincinnati. Ooh, 295 in St. Louis. 220 in Detroit, but we all know Detroit would be cheap. 265 in Cleveland, Pittsburgh 262. I think those are the cheapest spots. Arkansas right now is like 280 something. So we should have been a yellow spot, right? I feel like we should have been a yellow spot on that, but maybe we're not major enough of a market. All right. So let me know what's happening in your market. Cleveland. What are you asking, Bart? Yeah, Cleveland. Mortgage rates fall. Dun, dun, dun. Mortgage rates fall. Is it enough for buyers? With rates declining last week and mortgage applications for home purchases up, there's hope on the horizon for markets. Buyers are in a sweet spot with more housing inventory and slightly better rates. Jessica Luntz, deputy chief economist of the National Association of Realtors, said last week in response to the lower rates. Rates are still entrenched in the mid sixes. And this current rate low enough? Is this current rate low enough for home buyers? Maybe not for some. Maybe not for all, but for some who have accumulated a tremendous amount of housing equity, they may find the move easier with a larger down payment on their next purchase. Some prospective buyers are eyeing potential initial savings from adjustable rate mortgages. Given the relative attractiveness of ARM rates compared to fixed rate loans, ARM applications increased 25%. Wow. Wow.
I had 2 offers that came in on my last listing that were armed.
Caroline Hobbs says Bay Area. Why are y'all just saying names of areas? What am I missing? There may be a delay, and I've asked a question, and then they're telling me the answer. I don't know. So Terry, you had 2 arms. Are
two ARM offers that came in?
They have to specify that on your
Yep.
your offers. Okay. I
Yep.
know some states require that, some states don't. All right. So are you guys in a summer slowdown in your area? The stats say we are. Summer sales have hit their slowest pace in 10 years. So if you feel like it's a little slow for you this summer, it probably is. As of July, the typical home that went under contract spent 43 days on market. That's up 35 days from the year before. Let that sink in. This is what I was just talking about. As of July 2025, the typical home that went under contract spent 43 days on the market. That's up 35 days from the year before. The longest period of days on market since July 2015. It's wild. Pending home sales dropped 1.1% from June 2025 to July 2025. Lowest seasonally adjusted rate since November of 2023. Meanwhile, existing home sales hit their lowest level in nearly a year at a seasonally adjusted rate of 4.15 million. Supply is starting to fall because prospective sellers are choosing not to list after seeing their neighbor's home linger on the market or sell below asking price. Some existing sellers are pulling their homes off the market, opting instead to rent their house or hold off on the move altogether, especially if they bought at the peak of the pandy and are worried about taking a loss. Carolyn Hobbs says, bah, I'm getting my hair done and on my phone. I sent it before it was done. Oh, well, tell your hairdresser, hey. Is it a hairdresser? Is that what they say? At least I don't know. Tell your hair person, hey. The withdrawal from sellers from the market is leading to an acceleration in home price growth, with the median home price up 1.4% year over year. New median sale price record for the month of July. By contrast, home price growth at the beginning of 2025 was shrinking. Red Friend Agent says it's a weird market right now. I think that's what we're seeing everywhere. It's hard to kind of put your finger on a lot of this. It's, you can do the comparative market analysis and run the numbers, and, you can even get AI to chip in and give you all the data. But the fact is, you choose a price that looks like the market price. You go to market, you market it well, professional photos, video, 360 tours, the works. You put it out there in front of as many buyers as possible. And if it doesn't sell, you either have to change the condition, update the condition for what buyers expect in that range, or you have to lower the price. And that's about it. The difference, though, is that you need to be sure that you're working with an agent who's doing all of the other things. Because if you're not getting the market exposure, now you're just lowering your price to lower your price. And somebody's eventually going to find it and say, wow, I feel like it should have sold for more. And it should have, but the market didn't see it. So it is a weird market right now. It's very dependent on the situation of the seller or the situation of the buyer as to what contingencies will be provided. If the seller doesn't really have to sell, we're seeing a lot of those deals fail right now. If a buyer doesn't really have to buy and they can be very picky and choosy, we're seeing a lot of those deals fail right now. So the main successes we're having from people buying and selling are people that need to sell or need to buy. And that's a market like it was back in, 2013. But we had way more inventory back then to choose from too. So, and this article echoes that as well. Homes are selling at the slowest pace in slowest summer pace in a decade. It's just crazy to see. There is an article that talks about home prices ticking down. Home prices ticked down 0.1% in July. It's fall in the 39 of the top 50 U.S. metros. So they're using the Redfin Home Price Index along with this Case-Shiller. Price growth is halted because the number of homes for sale has rebounded to pre-pandemic levels, while the number of buyers in the market has declined to the lowest level in a decade. So I remember 2019. I remember being really excited about a 13% housing start increase in January. And it was the seller's market, leaning towards the seller's market. And now it seems to be leaning towards buyers in a lot of markets around the country. This article is from CNBC. Here's what's keeping home buyers on the sidelines, even as mortgage rates hit a 10-month low. I would love to buy a home. That's the next step. Cohen said, business life coach, but in New York, the entry became so much more difficult. It's affordability challenges. We've all talked about this, the affordability challenge. The average fixed rate mortgages in the US, both 15 and 30-year fixed mortgages. This is the dip. I love this chart because it really shows from 2019, we were at the 30-year mortgage was at 4.51%. Then it just bottomed out 2.65% in January of 2021. And then it started to go up fairly quickly in, when was this? December of 2021. That rate started to go up and up and up to its high of October 26th at 7.79%. That was in 2023. So this chart really shows context of where we are, what's been happening. Historically, we're still lower, but if you're visiting with a buyer, they don't really care what happened 40 or 50 years ago. They want the house today. So it doesn't really do them any good to talk about the great grandparents that had to pay 17%. Nobody cares. What they're looking at is what they're going to have to pay today and what they can afford or not. So I did see an interesting statistic. In just a second, I'm going to talk about a house that listed for $1. But I did see an interesting statistic that talked about the income needed to purchase a home and how there was this part in I think it was 1972 that it split, and prices on things continued to increase and incomes did not. And during that time period, there was a huge go to work movement for women. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying women shouldn't work, all that jazz. That's not what I'm saying. But during that time period, there was a huge go to work time for women where more women left the home and went into the workspace. When that happens, let's say at the time, you only had 25% of women that were interested in doing that. You're still increasing the workforce by a fourth. So suddenly there's more competition for jobs. And just like anything else, if there's more competition for a job, then how much money you make for that job is lower because you have to go in lower in order to get the job. That's common sense. It's just numbers, math. I think it was way more than 25% of women that went to work. And especially now, I would say the vast majority of women are in the job market. So you've increased your workforce in that 1972 time period that everyone was like, oh, our house cost $3 and we still had enough to go get a dinner. You've increased the amount of workforce by nearly double, and the prices on things have continued to go up, but the incomes have not matched that, in part because of the workforce increase. So it's just the new reality of where we are. And I'm wondering where that's going to level off, because you still see right now an increase in the cost for things, but the amount you make for the job is not increasing at nearly the same rate. So we'll see what happens, especially with the advent of AI and how those are cutting some jobs and cost-cutting measures. I don't know if we'll ever be in a situation again where you can buy a home for, what was it, like 10% of your income for that year? Jack, I saw you unmute. What's up, man?
It really begs the question that, since about 1980, real estate has been on a stepped up trajectory, where it levels off a few times over that 40, 50 years. But it begs the question, is there a ceiling to this all? Oh, hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, it was an ad playing in the background.
Okay. Is there a ceiling to that, to that tried and true, you can't lose with real estate?
Yeah, I mean,
because it's always going to go up.
I feel like it's always going to go up. I mean, we lived in a generation in which it did not go up because the immense amount of fraud that was in the mortgage stuff. So I would say, absent of fraud, it has to go up as population goes up, because they're not making more earth. Well, except in Dubai. They are in Dubai. They're making, more islands and stuff. But for the most part, real estate, just as a fact of supply and demand, it has to continue to go up because they're just not making more land. So as the raw land increases, the cost of everything on top of it, I think, would also increase. The other thing,
but you've got a population that wants to move, that most of them want to live in the most expensive part, and there's just something's got to give there.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that happened in 1972, in that time period, we moved away from the gold standard too. So, so now you're printing more money, and each dollar you print devalues the dollar that you just printed yesterday.
Let's not forget about the effects of Vietnam.
Vietnam.
The men coming back and Vietnam War, men coming back and not being able to work, or men are away and the women needed to go into the workforce.
Yeah, true.
So that's a part of that too.
Yeah, true. So I just don't know. I mean, I think I see all the TikToks and I see all the people complaining about it, but I just think, I mean, it's the new reality of where we are. So I think, one of the things that would help, in my opinion, is a little less regulation on some of the building and lot development. I know directly from a builder that would help solve a lot of pricing issues. I also think lenders providing money for alternative materials, buildings made out of alternative materials, would be huge. And if they could get the government backing on those, that would be great. But, it's like pulling teeth to try to get a loan for somebody to buy a metal or steel building. And those at times can be built a lot cheaper than some of these other homes. So there's some solutions out there for more affordable homes, not affordable housing. I'm not talking about, a small house or something, just a regular house. But I think it's going to take some, politicians opening some doors that are currently closed. And I don't know why those doors are closed, other than maybe trying to edge out some competition to keep the old guard in place. So we'll see. But I just thought that stat was interesting. And, with some of the, people saying, well, we're waiting on prices to drop. It's just not, it's not going to happen. All right. Well, here's one case in which a home has dropped drastically, right? Owner puts home up for sale with a starting price of $1. So here you are. Here's your $1 home. You can go buy it with your $3, right? As for the asking price, this is a new piece of property up for sale in New York State. As for the asking price, most people could probably find enough money in the cracks of the couch to buy this one. John Spachak owns 141 Diane Drive, Cheektowaga, with his business partner. He also is associate real estate broker selling it. Setting up a business plan called Born Again Transformations. We completely transformed the house in a very short time. What we've done by listing it at $1 is we've removed the guesswork and are making the point that list price is not any longer indicative of a home's value. Okay. A buyer is only going to pay what the market value is in their eyes anyway. So we figured, why not prove that to the market? A portion of our proceeds go back to charity. We want to improve the community. That's what we do. That's cool. Offers are due by Monday. I don't have an update on what this sold for. I guess it's still out there. I know this was August 13th. So yeah, maybe next Monday. So we'll see. This was sent to me by Scap. So thanks, Scap, for shooting me the article. I've done this a couple of times in my career, and it's always worked out to be around what we thought it would sell for, but it sells in like a week with no time. So I love this strategy. We almost did it again on a bigger home, but we didn't have the same feel about what was going on in the market around that one. So, but I love the strategy.
Did you do it for $1, or did you do it for like 10% off what you thought was value?
I've done it both ways. I did it for $1, and then I did it once for like half price. And the $1 worked way better. The $1 sold it in a week, and we were about 10K over what we thought it would sell for. So we had a little reserve. It wasn't an auction because I'm not licensed to do auctions. You can't do auctions, but it was a legit list price. But then what happens is you get multiple offers, and so you're like, hey, we got multiple offers. So, make adjustments, present your highest and best offer by Monday. And it worked out. It's a great position to be in if you have a good amount of equity in the home and you want to offload it quickly, and you're okay getting that day's market value. That's the only issue. You also have to make sure there's a lot of exposure. So one of the things you do is you send a letter to all the news stations and stuff saying, hey, I've got this home I'm going to list for $1. And then they get the word out there for you just by saying, this is crazy. I guess that's what they did too with this, is why it's on the CNN news source. So there you go. House listed for $1. We'll keep an eye on it, maybe update next week. Hopefully we'll know what it sold for. Well, we may not know for 30 days because it may have a long closing process, but maybe they'll announce it. I don't know. All right, well, guys, that's all I got for this week. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh, wow, we went over. I didn't mean to go over so much. Just got real involved in it, you know. But thanks, guys, for joining me. We will not be broadcasting next week. I'll be at Tom Ferry Summit in Dallas. And if you're going to go there, please reach out. Let me know. Find me on Instagram. It's Ray Zorback, RayZorback. And let me know that you're going to be there. I'd love to meet you. And if you're listening to this on a podcast or something like that, you got it in your ears, please, if you see me, come up to me and tell me hi and tell me that you listen to the show, because it's like wind beneath your wings whenever you meet somebody in person. It's kind of cool. So thank you, guys, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.